Jack and his wife,
Grace.
Grace, and they're from Columbia, and they're going to show us something they brought up that they had a man do for the club, and I'll let Jack just say a couple words here to.
Well, it's more than a club. It's an organization dedicated to the work of our Blessed Mother of Medjugorje, and this is something that he dedicated or he donated to us for a conference coming up here in Baltimore next week. Cause a little stir, maybe catch some attention. So we'll show you what's coming up next.
Sounds good. Well, we're going to take a look.
You ever hear of Our Lady of Medjugorje?
Yeah.
You did? I should have brought the picture along that he copied. You guys want to see this?
Ryan, look, don't step on it. Beautiful. That is.
It is. It's really beautiful. He did a great job.
Who painted it?
His name is Bob Kickifer. He's from down near Washington. He goes by the nickname Kicky. He's a retired guy. He's an architect, but he did painting, and he also does cast statues and crucifixes. And
You could get on the chair.
he did
Cute
called the Hill of Apparitions.
Yes, that's dear.
She's appeared there many, many times since then, many thousand times actually. We just passed in June 25th, the 11th anniversary of Medjugorje. And this is St. James Parish down here on the right, which is the parish in the choir loft in the back where the windows are. It's that's the second level. And that's where she appeared for a number of years to the visionaries. And it's an interesting church. They have a lot of secret entrances and things for the visionaries, although that at the time it was built in late '60, it wasn't, no one really knew why they were making it that big. The church will hold about 2,500 people. There was only 200 people in the village at the time. So it was 10 times larger than it needed to be, and there's a lot of secret entrances and passageways and things that the visionaries still use to avoid some of the crowds and so forth, to move in and out of there. There's bell towers on the right and left, and like I say, they've had apparitions in there. The pastor of the church is a priest named, well, not the first one was named Father Yozo Zovko, and he had he was having a real difficult time in the first 4 or 5 days understanding why the Blessed Mother would appear to people outside the church if this was real, and take them outside the church when it was illegal by the authorities' laws to gather for any kind of religious assembly or anything else outside of a church, because they thought that was the basis for political uprising or something under the communist system. So he was struggling with that and thinking that this was some kind of diversion, maybe even being put on by the authorities or something to just trap their people and harass them or whatever. And he was praying about it, and one day he said, "God, you spoke to Abraham and Isaac and others, and gave them instruction on what to do, or held back the hand of Abraham from killing his son. Tell me what to do here." And he said the next thing he heard was a man's voice speaking in his ear that said, "Go and help the children." And there was no one else in church, so he immediately got up and went to the back door. When he reached for the back door, the door was opening, and there were the children running from the police. And so he took them over to the rectory, and he hid them, and at that point he himself changed his heart about it, and felt that the thing was genuine. And then he was put in prison for 1.5 years, and apparently there had apparitions himself. Many other people have had apparitions there too, seen the Blessed Mother or whatever. Been a lot of miracles and so forth. But this organization is focused on taking the messages of Medjugorje and putting those into action in the churches and among all the people. And they're all very Catholic things to do. Things like promoting Eucharistic adoration, pro-life causes, making rosaries and distributing rosaries, Marian messages, Marian devotion, and so forth. There's about 12 legs of activity. So anyway,
Right, that is.
Thanks, Jack.
How did you all get involved then? When you went over,
Medjugorje America just started in '91.